Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Aquinas High School for our 2020 football season preview. I'm Jason Scherer, Coach James Leonard, Patrick Bird behind the camera with us tonight. And first of all, thank you all for joining us. And we're going to kind of go through a little bit of what's been going on the last few months with the pandemic that's affected everybody. We're going to focus in on Aquinas football and have Coach explain what his game plan was, what happened, and how the Irish weathered that storm. Then we're going to talk a little bit about this coming season. We're going to talk about some seniors. We're going to talk about the new schedule that we're all very excited about with the new region. So first of all, Coach, thank you very much for having us, and we're looking forward to getting some great information tonight.
Thank y'all for doing this.
All right, folks, welcome back. Here we are with Coach James Leonard, and as we talk about spring football, we have to realize that this was the year, obviously, spring football did not happen. So back in March, we were getting ready for St. Patrick's Day, March Madness, and Coach Leonard was focused on spring football and getting the guys ready. So, Coach, talk a little bit about you for us, if you would, about when you heard there was going to be no spring football, and we didn't know at that point what was going to happen. What were your first thoughts when we canceled spring ball because of this pandemic?
You know, the first thing we thought of was the weight room. We were still a ways off from actual spring practice, so when we got shut down, the first thing we went to was, what are we going to do about weights? Originally when we got let out of school, we were thinking it was just going to be 2 weeks. So we were given a very generic body weight type exercise with some running to the whole team. Now when it got extended and we figured out it was going to be a long period of time, we got in touch with every single player on the roster. We took inventory about what kind of weights, equipment they had at the house, anything they could use for weightlifting. And starting then, between me and Trainer Mike, every Sunday each player got a personalized workout depending on what kind of equipment they had, and then everybody got the same conditioning. So we still made sure we were going 5 days a week with lifting and running. Trainer Mike's the reason we got through the quarantine. In my opinion, he's the most important person in our program. He's the kind of the heartbeat of our program. He's kind of the head coach when we're in the off season. So when it all hit, I leaned really heavy on Trainer Mike. He kind of helped me get through that. We made sure everybody had something to work out with, and then kind of rolled like that. So every Sunday they got their own workout with running. And when we got back, we could tell that we really didn't miss a beat. So we're really proud of the kids committing to that.
Thanks, Coach. So the next question really is, then what happened? So then we found out that this was not a 2-week situation where kids weren't going to be able to come into school for 2 weeks. This was a long-term deal. My question is, you've always studied other coaches and the successful coaches in football and other sports. What did you do? Who did you talk to? Who did you commiserate with to get a game plan for what to do for Aquinas football for the long term, knowing that this 2-week was now going to be a longer situation lasting possibly months over the summer?
Yeah, well, first off, whenever I need advice, the first two people I go to are Coach Jim Connor, who's my mentor, and I owe everything to. He's the reason I'm doing what I'm doing now. And then Coach Matt Lazat, he's my other mentor. I was lucky enough to work for both of those guys, work with both of those guys, kind of learn how to run a program correctly and do things right. I talk to both of them pretty much daily about anything to do with the football program, so they're always my go-to guys. In my opinion, the success we've been having since Coach Lazat left is because of what Coach Connor and Coach Lazat built. So we're just kind of still going off what they built here. So those two guys are always my rocks. But along with those two guys, I'm in constant contact with Coach Cliff Richards, our former offensive coordinator, Coach Denny Dotson, another former offensive coordinator. Anything offensively, I'm on the phone with those guys pretty much daily. Defensively, I'm going to talk to Coach Tony Lazat down in Richmond Hill. He used to coach here, and Coach John Wiley, who's now the head coach at Westside, who's doing a great job over there. I think with all those names being said, that tells you the kind of quality coaches that have coached here in the past, and that's kind of my tight circle. So those are my go-to guys. I call them for really advice about anything. I called Matt and Denny and John to see how they were handling the quarantine and all that, and how that was going to affect them, and seeing how their programs were going to do it. But at the same time, anything X's and O's, I can call any one of those guys kind of any minute of the day, and they'll pick up, and a 5-minute conversation turns into an hour. So that's my kind of group of guys that I call constantly for advice.
So we've gotten through a lot of the pandemic, and I know there's a lot of other questions that everybody has about exactly what we did from day to day and week to week. But what we're going to do now is kind of switch to the current. We just found out in the last few days that the start of football season was pushed back 2 weeks. So with that being said, now you got another decision to make, Coach. You've got to decide what you want to do and how you're going to use those extra 2 weeks. So if you would, talk about those 2 weeks that we now have with the season starting a little bit later than what we originally thought.
Yeah, the cool thing about the season getting pushed back 2 weeks is practice stays the same. So this coming Monday, we're allowed to start making practice mandatory. It's the acclimation period. We can get in helmets only, but the way we structure practice, we can pretty much go through a normal practice minus the team period. So, helmet week's one of my favorite weeks of the year. We get a lot done install-wise. And then next, August 1st is when you can get in pads. So, technically, if it was a normal year, we'd be checking into camp on July 31st and sleeping here for a week. But, of course, with the pandemic, we're not going to be sleeping here. But, we do want the kids to have some kind of camp experience. So we're still going to do 2-a-days on the days we're allowed it. We'll still feed them. So if it's a 2-a-days day, they'll get 3 meals. If we're just practicing once, they'll get a lunch and a dinner. We are planning some fun stuff for them. Haven't told the guys yet, still working on a couple things, but we got a group of dads that have some really great ideas to be able to safely go do some fun things with the team. So working on that. But really all the 2 weeks does for us is just gives us more time. We're not going to take a break. We're going to keep rolling. We've been practicing for 3 weeks now, as long with the restrictions. They just now lifted more restrictions tonight, starting next week, so that's good. I've been really happy with the parents and the boys. It's tough, with the schedule changing constantly. The parents have done a great job getting the kids here at different times, and the boys have done a really good job being here. But really what it's going to do for us is we can go through a camp week, which is usually a pretty brutal physical week, and then you almost get another week and a half of recovery after that before you scrimmage. So for us, it's going to be a lot more teaching and helmet week, and we'll probably get a little bit more physical during camp week because we have 2 weeks to recover, and then from there on it'll be normal.
Coach Leonard has always thanked people for who have helped out in the program here at Aquinas, and that's one thing as a leader that I've always respected. He doesn't take credit for himself. He loves giving the credit to other people. And so, Coach Leonard, I know you got some folks you want to thank for all the work that they've done for Aquinas football this offseason.
Yeah, we do have a lot to be thankful for, inside of our program and our community here at Aquinas. The first people you need to thank whenever we're giving out thank yous is our administration. Miss Lewis and Miss Williams took a chance on me at 25 years old. I'll always be grateful for that. They're fantastic bosses to work for. Couldn't ask for a better boss. I got a lot of other friends that have coached at other schools and other school systems, and a lot of times they're complaining about their administration and how hard it makes their job, but we don't have that issue here at Aquinas. Miss Lewis and Miss Williams are both very supportive, not only of football but all of our athletics. So very thankful that we have an administration like that. The entire front office, Miss Hagler, Miss Garrison, Miss House, Miss Davis, Miss Clyett, Mr. Presbus, they do a fantastic job up front. Couldn't ask for a better group. Anything we need, they get it done for us. Our athletic director, Mr. McBride, his first year was last year. He hit the ground running. He's been lights out for us. I've really enjoyed working with him. I think he's got a lot done in a year, and I know he's going to do great things here at Aquinas. Big thank you to all of our parents. I know this summer has been one that's been very different. We've had to be in different groups and then combine groups and change times constantly. So thankful to the parents getting their kids here on time and picking them up, and anything we need, the parents are getting it done. Gatorade donations, water donations. Really, we have a great group of parents here at Aquinas. The big chicken dinner fundraiser's coming up this weekend. Huge thank you to Ray and Michael Bussey's family. They do the cooking every year. It's delicious food every single year. The parishes and the Perrys for also helping with the fundraiser. That's a lot of hard work those families put into that, and the football team benefits greatly from that. So we're really appreciative of that. Mr. Duncan Johnson, when you come into the stadium this year, you'll see that it looks a little nicer. Mr. Duncan Johnson took time and pressure washed all the steel in the stadium. And once he got done pressure washing, Mr. Johnson, his wife Casey, Dennis Welch, Sean Burt, Christy Burt, Craig Parrish, they've been down there painting the steel, putting a new fresh coat of green paint on it. It looks great. So very, very thankful for that. The Booster Club for always supporting Aquinas Athletics. You know, we don't go without stuff here. You know, if we need something, they're going to find a way to get it for us. You know, lastly, to all my staff members, you know, from coaches to support staff to managers, you know, they do a great job. You know, we got a lot of people, you know, we're going to talk about in a minute. We do have a very big staff here. You know, we have a lot of, we have a very big coaching staff along with a support staff. But, you know, everybody does a great job, so very thankful for all of them. And then lastly, all of our staff's wives and girlfriends and, you know, parents, brothers, sisters, kids, you know, we spend a lot of time away from them, so very thankful for them being supportive of us doing our jobs. And last but not least, our team mom, Miss Allison Parrish. You know, Miss Parrish has been with me a couple years now. She does an amazing job. Keeps me organized, you know, gets the word out about any football events, helps me send all the emails out. Very involved in the Booster Club. But Miss Parrish does an awesome job. Couldn't do it without her.
All right, and so now we move into some very important people, the coaches. First up, we're going to talk about our returning coaches and refamiliarize everyone with our returning coaches. Coach, give us a heads up. Who's back this year on the coaching staff?
Yeah, you know, we lost some really good coaches off last year's staff, but we do feel like we have a great staff this year. Starting with Coach Tyler Beal. Tyler's back. This will be his third year with us here at Aquinas. His granddaddy was actually the head coach here back in the day. Tyler will be coaching the H-backs on offense, the inside linebackers on defense, and he'll be stepping into the defensive coordinator role. You know, a lot of respect for Coach Beal. Known him for a while. Coached against him when he was at Lincoln. He always ran a really good defense when he was at Lincoln. So, you know, we're excited about him taking the role there, and we know he'll do big things. Connor Tierney's back. Connor's been with me longer than anybody on this current staff. So with Coach Connor retiring, we'll actually move Connor Tierney into the assistant head coach role. You know, with him being here so long, he really is the only one that knows how I really like things done. So he's doing a great job helping me stay organized. You know, he can jump into any drill at practice and know how to run it. Helping with a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So really happy that Coach Tierney's back at least one more year. Or half a year probably. You know, Coach Reese is back coaching running backs on offense. He's helping Coach Beal with the linebackers on defense. Matt handles signaling all the plays on Friday. He does the motion in the play. Matt does a great job. Coach John Parrish is back for his second season. He'll be coaching the wide receivers on offense and helping me with the defensive backs on defense. He's the head JV coach. He calls all the plays on offense for the JV. You know, John is starting around the same age I started, but, you know, he's light years ahead of me at that age. You know, I think John has a really bright future in this profession. You know, if I got to hand pick my replacement when I retire when I'm like 98, it would be John Parrish. So a lot of respect for John Parrish. John Stewart is back this year coaching defense with Coach Beal. Coach Stewart helps out with both the linebackers and defensive ends kind of wherever he's needed. Offensively, he's able to float around, kind of help us with any drill we need. He's also on the St. Mary's coaching staff, so I really like to have a guy that's kind of a bridge between the two programs, and Coach Stewart's the perfect guy. Mike Engel, we talked about earlier, he's back as our athletic trainer and strength coach. He's been here with me my first couple years and he left. Now he came back a couple years ago. You know, like I said, he's kind of the heartbeat of the program. You know, he gets the guys physically and mentally ready. You know, he'll drop the hammer down if needed. He's the reason we play so disciplined here at Aquinas, and very thankful trainer Mike's here.
All right, and Coach Connor Tierney, one thing Coach mentioned was that he might be leaving halfway through the year. Coach Tierney has a job opportunity out of town, so with everything going on with the pandemic, we're not sure when that's going to happen, but there is a plan in place that he might have to leave the staff. But Coach, we've gone through the new guys, but now we're going to talk a little about we've talked about the returning guys, now we're going to talk about the new guys, and one guy that's new, but still returning, Tyler Williamson, a graduate of Aquinas High School. Tyler's back. Talk about Tyler and the other new additions to the staff this year.
Yeah, you know, we're really excited to get Tyler back. Tyler was part of our staff previous years. You know, he was on the state runner-up staff. I really, really like Tyler. You know, all the Williamson family has been involved in our program. Tyler coached. All three of the sisters managed here, so very thankful for their family and our program. Very proud of Tyler. You know, he's been off serving in the Air Force. You know, he's finishing his time. He's coming home now to go to school, so he'll be coaching football and baseball here. Tyler will be working really closely with me in the backfield. Defensively, he'll kind of float around wherever he's needed. He'll be very involved in JV games on Thursdays, but you know, Tyler brings a really positive attitude, so we're really excited to get Tyler back. The next new guy is Ward Tyre, who just graduated last year. You know, Ward's going to coach wide receivers with John Parrish. He'll kind of help out wherever needed, more than likely the secondary on defense. You know, we split corners and safeties. Ward has been a great player for us the past 4 years, one of the best all-around kids I've ever coached, great leader. So I think having Ward on staff is great for the young players. You know, a guy that just got done doing it, knows how we like to do things, but also does it with a very positive attitude. So really happy to have Ward here. Next will be Scott Pagano. Scott's brand new this year. He's going to be coaching the defensive line. Scott played college ball at Clemson, won some national championships. He played his 5th year at Oregon, and then he was on the Seattle Seahawks roster for a little while. Scott's a really big pickup for us. He brings a ton of energy. It's really contagious down there. The kids love him. Really big guy. You won't be able to miss him on Friday night, so excited to have him around. Justin Thompson, another former player, is coming home. Justin will be taking over the special teams. You know, Justin was our kicker the year we won state. He had a great year at Kennesaw State. It seemed like every other week he was winning an award up there. He actually did a year as a student coach with the special teams at Kennesaw State, so he won't just be coaching the kickers and punters. He'll be running all the special teams, and I think he's going to bring some really fresh, great ideas to that. So excited to see that, and glad to have Justin back. The last coach that we'll be adding this year is Coach Daniel Shakowski. We're just going to call him Coach Ski. But Coach Ski's joined us this year to coach our offensive line. Coach Ski's been a teacher and coach for over 30 years. He's been head coach and athletic director and assistant. He's coached offensive line at the college level. He's won championships at almost every level. Brings a lot of knowledge to our staff. You know, at one point I was going to be the oldest guy on staff, so glad to have Coach Ski here. But he's done a great job so far. The kids love him, and we're really happy he's here.
One thing we talk about here at Aquinas is family. And the fact that families are so involved and continue year after year, generation after generation. Right now there are 7 coaches on the staff that played football here at Aquinas and graduated from Aquinas. And part of that alumni that continues to help is the support staff. We have a number of people on the support staff here at Aquinas that Coach is going to talk about. So Coach, talk a little bit about the support staff, how important they are. A lot of these folks are behind the scenes. You might not see them or hear them, but you would not have the success and the time that you have to focus on football without some of these good folks.
Yeah, you know, here at Aquinas, the support staff is just as important as the coaching staff. You know, they do a lot of things behind the scenes. They don't get near the credit they deserve. Take a lot off our shoulders and just kind of help us just focus on football. You know, the first guy we got to talk about is the director of football operations, Mr. Sean Burke. He's been with me for a while. You know, he's one of the most involved people at Aquinas, no matter what. You know, Mr. Burke handles a ton of things for football. You know, camp week, he does all the meals. He does all the pregame meals. You know, he's really often pulling the trailer with all of our equipment on Friday nights. He's setting up the broadcast on Friday nights. You know, he's running around helping us set up cameras. You know, whatever we need, Mr. Burke's there for us. You know, shopping for camp. Something breaks, he'll fix it. You know, he's very, very, very hands-on with the football program. You know, very important. Can't thank him enough. But then, you know, on top of all that, he's also the head shotgun coach here, which is the second biggest program in the school. They've had a ton of success, so we're really, really happy to have Mr. Burke around again. You know, next will be Jason. You know, if we're doing stuff like this, Jason, you know, anything where we're doing something similar to this, Jason kind of runs the show. Jason played here and has a lot of knowledge of this program. You know, our coaches' corners tonight, Columbus, Jason's in charge of those. On Friday nights, he's the best PA announcer in the state of Georgia. Brings a lot of energy to the stadium. The kids love it. So very thankful for Jason. Next is Mr. Patrick Bird, who's behind the camera tonight. Patrick Bird is another alum that handles all of our social media. Does a great job, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You know, gets the kids a lot of recognition and, you know, makes cool graphics for them. So the kids really appreciate that, and I really appreciate that. It's an awesome thing to have here. Coach Mack does our stats for us, which is great. At halftime, we're able to look at live stats and see who's gotten how many touches and what's working, what's not working. Coach Mack coached me growing up, so we know each other really well. He's also been the head coach at St. Mary's and built that program up, which is huge for us, for those guys to play football before they get here. So really happy to have Coach Mack back. Brendan Simpkins and Henry Colkey will both be back this year. They kind of personal assistants to the head coach, I guess. They do a lot. Henry's at practice. He's snapping footballs, spotting footballs. Anything we need, Henry's there for us. He works really hard. Brendan is around as much as he can be. On Friday nights, Brendan's doing hand signals, which is a huge help. Really happy those guys are involved. John Weigel's going to be joining us this year. John is going to be kind of stepping in to help Mr. Burke. With Sean's kids graduating, we want Sean to be able to pick up and go when he needs to. We don't want him missing something to do with his family while they're off in college with high school football. So John's going to be kind of Mr. Burke's assistant. Anything, John's going to learn how to do it, and if Sean's not there, John's going to be able to do it. So happy John's around. Buzz Green, he coached defensive line for us a couple years ago. With his work, he's not able to be here as much, so he's still here as much as he can be. He's here on Friday nights. He's kind of the get-back coach. He's a really large man, and if he pulls you back, you're going to listen. So we're glad to have Buzz down there with us. Mr. Paul Goddins, our team security, does a great job. He takes it very seriously, which we're happy with. He makes you feel a lot more important than you really are. So very happy with Paul. Next is our managers. We have a great group coming back. Coming back is Morgan Johnson, Aubrey Yanasaki, Kate Dowell, Elizabeth Williams, and Maggie Hogg, and then we'll add Mary Bryn Chappell this year. A lot of people make the mistake of calling those girls water girls. That's far from what they are. Those girls do a ton for us. We couldn't practice the way we practice without them. They work year-round, not just during the season. They're always doing something with football. At practice they film, they spot balls, snap balls, do water. They do laundry if needed. They get the water ready. Really anything we need, the girls handle it, and they do an amazing job. So very thankful for them. And lastly is our ball boys. We got a great ball boy staff. It's been passed down every other year. It seems like somebody's taking over that's family to somebody that's already done it. This year we'll have Will Parrish, Emery Tyre, and Kirsten Brinson, who were all here last year. So glad all three of them back. They do a great job. Talking to the local officials, they always tell me how good our ball boy staff is. Those guys know exactly what to do. There's no delay getting the balls in. They make sure the balls are dry. They help at practice when they're around. So very thankful for those three guys.
And we can't talk about our 2020 season preview without going through the season schedule. We start off this year, we've got a new region, a new schedule. We're not going to see a lot of the same teams that we've seen in the past, year after year. One of those teams that we're not going to see this year that a lot of fans are really disappointed is our annual game with Lincoln County will not be played this year. However, Coach was able to work with the Lincoln County coaches, and our first scrimmage of the year, which will be August the 21st, we will be hosting Lincoln County for a scrimmage here at Aquinas. The following week, we'll be hosting Evans for a scrimmage. Then we'll go into the regular season. Also this year, Coach is excited about a full JV schedule. So, Coach, talk a little bit about the new schedule, if you would. Talk about the year pushed back 2 weeks, but still a full season of football in front of us.
Yeah, I think Georgia High School's done a great job. A lot of other states are shortening the season, and some states have even canceled. I think Dr. Hines has done a really good job, fighting for us to play. You would hate for seniors across the state not to play their fourth year. So I think Georgia High School's done a really good job. I think what they've done makes a lot of sense. So we're happy with it. Coach Homkins at Lincoln County is a buddy of mine, so we were able to get that scrimmage on there, so that'll be good. Coach Lackey's also a friend at Evans, so I think those are two really good scrimmage games to start the season. I think you'll have good crowds. Those are two really good programs. It'll show us where we're at. The Harlem game has been a really fun game the past couple of years, so getting that back has been huge. Adding another local game with Cross Creek will be fun. That's a good program over there. And then, getting Jenkins County back on the schedule. We used to play them back in the day, and they're not too far away, so happy to have that. And, the middle of the schedule is kind of our old region as far as the private schools in our old region. It's a lot of the Macon schools and plus Strong Rock, who's up in North Atlanta. So And then our region is down in Savannah this year with Savannah Country Day, Savannah Christian, and Calvary. So we do have a lot of traveling, a lot of trips to Macon, a lot of trips to Savannah, but we feel like it's a really good schedule, so we're excited about that. Like Jason said, we have a full JV game schedule, 7 games. That's really good for those guys and also the young coaches. I learned more under Coach Lazat and Coach Connor coaching JV than anything, so that's great for our coaching staff and our players. Those freshmen and some sophomores work their butts off just like everybody else, so I'm really glad they get to play a full schedule this year.
And really one of the most important parts of the season this year is going to be the last few games of the season, because that's our region schedule. We're going to have a bye week, play at Savannah Country Day, host Savannah Christian, a bye week, and then we're at Calvary Day. So, Coach, the most important games are the end of the year, but I guess it's a good thing that we get a couple of bye weeks in there for injuries. It's later in the year. We get to figure out some stuff. What are your thoughts on all that region being at the end of the season and having the 2 bye weeks in that schedule?
Yeah, it's very nice to have it all your region games at the end. The bye weeks right around those games is really helpful. We're a single A school, just like all the teams on our schedule. You're not going to have a huge roster. You're going to get some injuries, so those bye weeks are big. Like I said, we have a really good schedule leading up into those region games, so we're playing some really good teams that'll test us. So hopefully we'll have all the kinks worked out by then, and if we do get any injuries, we'll get some bye weeks to rest up. And those 3 Savannah schools are really, really good programs with 3 really good coaches, so we're excited for the challenge.
And of course, we can't talk about any year here at Aquinas, or anywhere for that matter, without talking about the seniors on the football team. We've got 15 seniors this year at Aquinas. Lots of folks, a big class. Number 73, Lee Perry. 71, John T. Brown. Number 63, Jonathan Bussey. Number 53, Stuart McCall. Number 47, Michael Lambert. Number 30, Waters Jordan. Number 27, Darius Stone. Number 22, Joseph Welch. Number 19, A-Rob, Alex Roberts. Number 18, Lorick Howard. Number 14, Bobby Scott. Number 11, Ford Smith. Wearing number 10 this year for the Irish, Henry Anderson. Number 8, Conrad Pereira. And last but not least, number 5, James Schlegel. Coach, talk about this senior class. A big class again. Lots of leadership, lots of experience on the seniors.
Yeah, second year in a row we've had a big senior class. We had 16 last year. 6 of those guys off of last year's senior class are going to be playing college football this year. So it's always good to have a good senior class. 15 and 16 in single A is a big class. So, whenever you got that many seniors, that many guys have been in your program, it's a good thing. We have a lot of leadership down there, a lot of good players. So, we're excited about the size of the class. It's kind of evenly distributed throughout the positions, so almost every position group's got a couple seniors, so it's great for leadership and for the young guys, and really been happy with those 15 guys.
So lots of seniors, we're excited about that. But Coach, also with the underclassmen coming in this year, talk a little bit about some of the underclassmen that have really stepped up here in the preseason camp.
Yeah, we've had some really good underclassmen step up so far. Everything we've done so far is voluntary, so lots of guys on vacation, so we're really looking forward to this coming Monday where practice becomes mandatory. We'll have the whole team there, but some guys have really grown up a lot since last season and really impressed us. Have been I'd have to start with Diego Washington. I start practice every day with the quarterbacks and the running backs and the H-backs. We're a triple option offense, so the quarterbacks have a lot on their shoulders. Diego has grown up a ton. I've been really, really happy with Diego in what we call our track periods. I think he's done really, really well. So happy with Diego. Another guy that really has grown up a lot, I think, will be Barrett Alexander. I think he's going to be a sophomore, but he's done really well in the weight room. He's doing really well in his position work, so happy with Barrett. R.J. Edwards is going to be a junior. Between him, Darius, and Clark Jackson as a freshman, I think we have a really good backfield at running back position. Kevin Douglas has grown up a lot. He'll be a sophomore at wide receiver. Really excited about Kevin this year. We're young on the offensive line. Both Duncan Johnson and Vincent Dresser have done really, really well at the tackle position. Jonah O'Neal stepping in at center has been really good so far. Caleb Bussey going to be a junior at guard. So some of those guys getting a lot more playing time, and been really happy with those guys. Even some older guys we've been really pleased with. Bobby Scott has been really, really impressive the past couple weeks. So really happy with Bobby. The guys are returning. Slagle, Joseph Welch, Darius, guys that we know what they can do. They've come back even better than last year. So excited about that. Seniors like Ford Smith and Waters Jordan, Michael Lambert, Lee Perry, those guys, they're all stepping into leadership roles. Stuart McCall, so happy with that. But yeah, we've had some really good surprises. Keegan Williams is joining the team this year. I've been really impressed with his athletic ability at the DB position. So yeah, we got some guys that we've been really happy with the past couple weeks. But again, we start mandatory Monday, and really excited to get everybody there together at once and see how it goes.
So we've talked about seniors, we talked about underclassmen, and now let's talk about the new guys, the freshmen. Coach, 13 freshmen, a nice big class. What potential do they have to bring a lot of excitement to Aquinas football for the next few years?
Yeah, fairly big class for the freshman class. Excited about that. Starting with Clark Jackson at running back. Really excited about Clark. I think he's learning a lot under Darius and RJ. So between those three, we're really excited about that position. Another freshman that's really impressed us is TJ Jackson, being able to play center and guard on the offensive line and defensive line, nose guard on the defensive line. So really happy about TJ. But all 14 of them have come in and done really well in the weight room. If anybody knows our program, it's not the easiest thing in the world. We work these kids really hard. It's a very strict environment, but those 14 kids have thrived in it. They've done really well in the weight room. Trainer Mike, it's translated to the field. Been really happy with this class. I spend most of my time with the quarterbacks and running backs, so the freshmen I see every day are Clark, Copeland, Thurman, Braden Fortson. Those guys are really doing well for me. I try to look out of the corner of my eye to the other positions. Josh Tyer's doing really well at wide receiver. Aiden Caldwell and TJ on the offensive line, been happy with those guys. But all 14 of them have worked really hard, so we're really excited about that class.
All right, and as we wrap up this 2020 season preview, we've got one fan that's going to be in the stands this year that we're all excited about. Congratulations to Coach Leonard and his wife Katie, proud parents of little baby Hudson, joined us back in January. Coach, becoming a father for the first time is an amazing event. Talk about Hudson and what that's changed for your personal life at home.
Well, first off, he ain't little. He's 25 pounds. His mama wants a quarterback, but he's going to be an offensive lineman. So I'm really excited about that. I wanted a big boy. So, we've been really excited. It definitely changed some things. So, usually this time of year I'd be in my office from 6:30 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. Now I'm trying to figure out how to spend as least time here as possible and more time at home. So, been really enjoying the time at home with him. He gets to spend a lot of time at home with me right now since the summertime, so that's been fun. He loves coming to the weight room. I'm not sure what it is, but he loves coming in, getting on my shoulders and watching the guys lift and hearing the weights bang. Puts on his headphones, and he loves it up here. This is his favorite place in the world. He likes to come ride the golf cart, and hopefully he won't be throwing a football, but hopefully he'll be learning how to block pretty soon.
All right, Irish fans, thanks for joining us for our 2020 season preview. A big thank you to Coach Leonard. Thanks to Pat Bird behind the camera tonight. So, Coach, we're really excited about the 2020 season with everything that's happened. I think we're all just ready to play a little bit of football.
Yeah, we're excited. It's been a definitely weird year. Feel really bad for those seniors in the spring that got canceled. So, hopefully we'll get it to work out where these seniors for the rest of this year can play. And I've been really happy with how our administration's handled it, how Georgia High School's handled it, and just keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best.
All right, and we'll see you guys soon when we have our scrimmage against Lincoln County. We'll scrimmage Evans, then we'll get into the regular season. We're going to have, here in just a moment, we're going to have the schedule up on the screen. As always, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for all your Aquinas news and information. So, as always, go Irish. Thanks for joining us.